Olá, boa noite. Eu hoje vou apresentar um projeto que eu fiz durante a pandemia chamado Serenidade Sonora. Este projeto, espero não fazer adormecer alguém, mas é tudo muito música, muito intimista. São músicas para mim muito especiais, desde a minha infância, e vamos percorrer um bocado o meu imaginário musical. E vamos começar com Ennio Morricone e vamos ver o que é que vem a seguir. Obrigado. A segunda não foi do Ennio Morricone, foi do Henry Mancini, que é o Moon River, aqui numa versão um pouco mais alternativa. E agora vamos seguir com um tema que eu escrevi, acabei de fazer ontem à noite, a ver se me recordo. Acho que o nome vai ser o Teu Fado. Tem uma relação com um projeto futuro e a ver se consigo tocar isto. Quero agradecer ao festival, Passa, Palavra. Eu estive agora num jantar num Serão muito caloroso em termos humanos e foi mesmo bonito. Foram muitas palavras bonitas que eu ouvi e é sempre bom partilhar. Este projeto que nasceu foi um pouco de tela, ou seja, foi em lives do Facebook, tocar sozinho, num período assim mais complicado, e sabe bem outra vez estarmos aqui uns com os outros, podemos estar perto uns dos outros, não faz sentido se for de outra maneira, e vamos continuar. Tenho que me lembrar da introdução. Obrigado. Vou agora fazer uma pequena homenagem a 3 compositores portugueses, que são o Bernardo Sassetti, o Pedro Caldeira Cabral e o Carlos Paredes, e que no fundo é uma homenagem também ao Bach, porque eu acho que todos eles se inspiraram e ouviram muito Bach e estudaram muito Bach. A quarta peça que tocarei nesta mescla é uma invenção minha, que é para a harmónica solo. E vamos começar com O Sonho dos Outros, do Bernardo Sassetti. Obrigado. Vou fazer aqui uma pequena homenagem ao Tom Jobim. Ok. Tenho que falar o microfone, pelos vistos isto está a ser passado online, então ninguém ouvia. Vou fazer uma homenagem ao Tom Jobim. Peguei nas canções de amor dele e ele e os seus parceiros, Vinícius, Chico, Edu, fazem parte, é uma parte muito forte da minha música e da minha musicalidade. Ouvir este muito novo e estas canções são mesmo incríveis e apeteceu-me tocá-las. Eu vou fazer aqui uma pequena mescla. Obrigado. Vou terminar com uma pequena melodia que escrevi, chama-se Príncipezinha. Foi um prazer estar convosco, espero que tenham desfrutado. Eu, apesar de não ter aqueci ali naquele jantar, não houve tempo aqui para aquecer. E até breve.
Obrigada, Gonçalo. E que casa bonita nesta noite do Passa, Palavra. Agradecer a vossa presença, agradecer ao Gonçalo ter partilhado connosco muitos dos seus temas. É uma noite especial, começou cedo o dia, com os narradores a trabalhar nas escolas, com a criançada aqui do Conselho. Os fins de tarde na Vernei, com conversas interessantes com alguns dos narradores presentes no encontro. Uma festa organizada pelas Bibliotecas Municipais de Oeiras, pelos contabandistas de histórias, pela São Nosso, e acolhida esta noite aqui, neste belíssimo teatro. Queria pedir-vos uma grande salva de palmas para a equipa que nos acolhe aqui nestas noites. Muito obrigada a todos. Tínhamos que ter uma noite especial e trazer novos narradores. Havia o sonho, há muitos anos, temos connosco o Abi Patrick, para as pessoas que não pertencem a este mundo dos contos, que ainda não pertencem ainda, talvez não conheçam o nome, é um enormíssimo narrador, ele faz parte, é um pioneiro da narração oral europeia, esteve connosco hoje a trabalhar com escolas, estará esta noite a contar em inglês e pedia-vos a vossa atenção. Amanhã o dia vai continuar também com as histórias a saltitar por aí e chamava-vos para que no sábado e no domingo corram até aqui ao Centro Histórico, porque o mercadinho vai estar a pulular de contos e contadores. Vamos ter a Capela de Santa Amaro também com sessões a acontecer. Vamos ter espetáculos a acontecer no Eunice Munhoz, uma festa que preparamos com carinho para todos vós. Abi, estás pronto? Prontíssimo. Prontíssimo. Queria pedir-vos a todos uma grande salva de palmas para o narrador Abi Patrix.
So in the beginning there was nothing, but really nothing. I think it's more or less impossible for us to really feel in our bones what it means, nothingness. But you can imagine that the Creator himself, he was there, but he was not there because nothing had already existed. So he was wondering about time, about space, about timing. And then time passed very slowly, you know. And so little by little, the Creator got bored. And the Creator, whatever he is, he's a little like you or me. Sometimes he has a gesture that he does not really control. Especially when you're bored, you know, you do things with the body language, you know, goes in directions, and then the Creator is waiting, and then suddenly his right hand reaches his skull and starts to scratch the right part of his head. If you want, you can do it. It's good for you. It's good for you. It will wake you up a little bit, you know, make us in a good state to listen to story after this extremely nostalgic music. So you scratch your head, and what happens? What happens? Nothing? No, yes. Something happens. It wakes up the right part of your brain. And what is in the right part of your brain? Your imagination. Shop! Hello, Creator, I'm here. Sorry, who are you? We have not been introduced. I'm your imagination. You are bored, you scratch your head, I woke up, and here I am. What shall we do? Well, the Creator is there. Well, I don't know, I'm here, but I'm not here, nothing happens, I got bored, I scratched my head, and here you are, I don't know. What shall we do? The imagination says, but you are the Creator. You have a job to do, you're supposed to create. Aha, that's interesting, said the Creator, but what is it? What do I have to do? Imagination says, this is why you woke me up. Because you, by yourself, you don't even know what you have to do to create. Okay, I'll help you. Close your eyes. And the Creator closed his eyes. Give me your hands. The Creator gave his hands. Don't open your eyes. Feel what you have in your hands. Yes. And now take your 2 fingers and push. The other one now. Yes, one more. Oh, it's nice, says the Creator. What is this? Try to find out by yourself, says the imagination. We call this music. Just play. And the Creator, you know, in the beginning, he does not know what he's doing. He plays, but he's the creator, so he understands fast. Dolly on, dolly, dolly, cuckoo-ba. Cuckoo-a say, lanti, lanting, golo, golo, jiggy-ja. Jiggy-da-come, jiggy-da-come, boom, 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 care, yassire, 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 folkarija. It's nice, your music, says the creator. Great. Yes, says imagination. Now, open your eyes. The creator opened the eyes, and wow! Ooh, everything had appeared. The earth, the sky, the stars, the moon, the sun, the grass, the trees. Wow! This is beautiful! How is it? How did it happen? Well, you did it, said the imagination. You're the creator. You created that with music. Wow, said the creator. Now this gives meaning to my life. It's great. There's only one problem. I've done all that with no conscience. I want to do something with my full consciousness. Are you sure, says the imagination? I'm sure. All right, then try. And the creator, he takes music, he looks at the creation, and he starts to try to feel inside what is missing. So he looks, and at the same time, he wants to play. And you know, it's not always easy to do two things in the same time, even for the creator. So he's looking, he's trying to understand, he's looking at his hands, and in the end, a false note. And then, man appears. There is two versions in that story. Or you take man as a generic term, and it includes men and women, or you make another version where the creator says, oh, that was really a false note. I'm going to try to do better. Yes, woman appears. Dolly, dolly, cuckoo-ba, cuckoo-ba, se, lanti, lantingolo. Golo, jiggy-ja, come, boom, 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 care, yassire, yassire, folkarija. Yes, we, men and women, we are born from a false note. And this is why we spend all our life trying to tune ourselves. Tune with one another, man and women and the nature, dreams, things. We try to tune ourselves. And I can tell you, there is still a lot to do. Afghanistan. We all know what's happening now. Imagine the last spring before the Russians invaded Afghanistan and create this endless war, which is still going on. I was there, a group of 12 young searchers of tradition. We were French and Swiss and German and English. We were in a small minivan with four-wheel drive and a driver. In Afghanistan at that time, if you had a little minibus you had the driver, but you needed a kilinar. And the kilinar is the one who is at the back of the bus, and he watches trucks, bad roads, things coming from the mountains. He was the watcher. And in that bus, the youngest had to be kilinar. It was me. So I had a coat. I was at the back of the bus, and I was holding myself all the time looking, and I saw Afghanistan at the time. The beautiful Buddha of Bamiyan, Mazar-e Sharif, the Silk Road, the Blue Mosque. I saw everything. It was striking, beautiful. And after a few days of tourism, the driver said to us, you know, when we go back, there is my village, and in this village, my sister is getting married. And you who look for tradition, you could come, you will be our guest. And we were so excited. A real traditional Afghan wedding. We said, yes, we are your guests. And off we went with a little bus. And we had a puncture, and a second puncture, and a third, and a fourth. We never had so many punctures at a time. And it was hell difficult to find tires. And finally we arrived in the village. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, and everything was black. The house was closed. Everybody was sleeping. We were so disappointed. We had missed the wedding. So we came out of the bus, and the driver went to the door, and then he hammered on the door very violently. And suddenly, light came out, and all the party was there, waiting for us. Imagine, they had not eaten, they had not sung, not danced, nothing. They went directly to bed, waiting for us for the party with the guests. 2 o'clock in the morning, suddenly all the Afghanis were up, and they started to bring the food and the music and the dance, and the wed couple was there. They were beautiful. We were just stunned that they could do something like this. And then they separated, women on that part, men on that part. That was the first time it happened to me, to be separated from women. We were there in that room with only men and started to talk, try to understand what was the subject of conversation. The driver was the only one who could interpret from Afghani to English. And then, suddenly, the door opened and a man entered. That man, he was very tall. He was dressed as a dervish with a belt. He had a drum like this, and he was one-eyed. He looked so wild. He entered, and straight away, he started to play. Hi-ho, hi-shana, fuck-nigga-ye, fuck-nigga-day, yak-nigga-ye, lockdown. And he sang, and he danced, and he went to every man, but especially to the wed. And he danced for him, and he talked to him, he sang for him. And then, suddenly, he vanished into the night. I looked at that man. I don't know what I thought at the time. I don't know what he had been telling to the Afghani who were there. But it struck my head, my heart, my body, so strongly that I never could forget him. One day in Paris, there was a Turkish group of dervishes. One of them was playing that instrument. I bought the instrument and I started to work, to try to understand how to play, how to sing, how to dance in the same time. And as I was working with the Arabian Nights at the time, starting to be a storyteller, I did find a story. And that story reminded me of that Afghani dervish I met in my real life. And the story goes like this. Hi, Shana! Hi! Fuck nigga da yak nigga ye! Once upon a time, there was a boy called Ali. When his father died, there was nothing for him. No money, no heritage, no house. The only thing he remembered is that he had an uncle in town. So off he went. He knocked at the door of the uncle, And he said, I'm your nephew. I'm Ali. I have nothing. Your brother died, my father. And the only thing I can do is be a servant. Can I be your servant? The uncle looked at the boy, and at this moment the boy understood that his uncle was one-eyed. The uncle looked at him and says, you can be my servant if you want, but there are conditions. First, you will not ask any question on what doesn't bother you, what doesn't concern you. You will ask nothing. And if you do so, if you serve me right, when I die, this house and all the means in there will be yours, because I have no family except you. Do you accept that? Be aware, no questions. Well, Ali, he had no choice. He said yes. And he started to serve his uncle really well. Meals, cleaning, being attentive. One evening, the door opened and 12 men entered into the dining hall. They were all one-eyed. They went around the table and they started to sing and dance. C'est ma faute, c'est ma faute, c'est ma faute, c'est ma très grande faute. Hey, c'est ma faute, c'est ma faute, c'est ma très grande faute. It's my fault, it's my big deep fault. It's my fault, it's my fault, it's my fault, and it's my fault. And suddenly they would stop, look at the sky and say, it's my fault, I'm so stupid. And then they started to have dinner, and they laughed, and they talked, and then the man disappeared. 1 month after, exactly the same thing. The 12 men enters, and they started to sing, to dance, to laugh, and they go. And every month, the same ceremony happens. But the men, they are old, so little by little they start to die, one after the other. And at the end, the only one left is the uncle. He's alone around the table. C'est ma faute, c'est ma faute, c'est ma très grande faute. It's my fault, it's my fault, it's my big deep fault. Oh, I'm so stupid. Come on, my nephew, I'm going to die now. So he goes in his bed, he lays down, he looks at Ali and he says, you've been good, you've been great, you've been faithful, so now everything here will be yours. I die, bye-bye. Ali, he looks at his uncle and she says, but uncle, you're going to die. I mean, you cannot just go like this. I'm going to die too. Die of, I want to know the secret. Why are you singing, dancing, and why are you one-eyed? You have to tell me before you die. Otherwise, I'll die myself for curiosity. You have to tell me before you die. And the uncle looks at Ali and says, my poor boy, no. I told you not to ask questions. And now you do just when I was going to die, and you would have been a happy man. Ah, destiny. Destiny, what can you do against destiny? All right, I'm going to tell you the secret. You see there's a door behind this carpet. Never open it. And he dies. At first, Ali just wanted to check behind the carpet. Oh, yes, there's a door. Imagine inside. All these years serving his uncle and all these men, one-eyed, shouting, it's my fault, it's my fault, it's my great deep fault. And then, I'm stupid, and laughing. What the hell is this secret? So he takes the carpet, look at the door. Yes, the door is open. What shall he do? He does not know what to do. Open the door, not open the door. He thinks about what his uncle said. That's always like this in stories, but in life also. You have two doors or one door. You have to open it or not. You have to make a choice. I'm not going to do that alone. You are specialist of storytellers, storytelling, and Portuguese or not. You have to do the choice. There is two versions of that story. One version, he's not opening the door, and one version, he opens the door. Now, it's you to decide. Do you want the first version or the second version? Do you want the story where he opens the door or the story where he's not opening the door? Are there people up there? No. No. You're all down there. Okay, so who opens the door? Majority. Yes, thank you for the light. Yes, okay. Who is not opening the door? 1, 2, 3. Women. 3 women. 3 women. No. 1 man. 1 man, 2 women. Not opening the door. Okay. All the rest opening the doors. Okay. You want it, eh? So the 3 that said no, you just, shut your ears. I'm going to tell the version of the door, and after that, I'll tell you the version for you, and the others will shut their ear. Okay. So, Ali is so excited. He opens the door. And there, he walks into a corridor, black, dark, endless. He walks. Marche aujourd'hui, marche demain. Tu marches à pied, tu feras beaucoup de chemin. Il a marché, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked. And he walked for hours. He walked for such a long time. He couldn't believe how far he walked, and 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 he walked. In the dark, in the corridor, and suddenly he arrived onto a little balcony. And the balcony gave into the void. He could see the sky. He could see the sea far in the end. And he could see a bird, a huge white eagle, bigger than all the birds. His name is l'oiseau roc, the rock bird from the Arabian Nights. And the rock bird arrived, flew over his head, dived on him, took him in his claw, and off he went into the sky. And the bird flew for a day and a night, and a day and a night, and 3 days and 3 nights. He flew over the seas, over the waves, until he arrived on a small island, lost in the sea. On this island there was a castle, and on the top of the castle there was a terrace. And the bird dropped Ali on the terrace. Ali looked around him. There was a door. There was a stair. He went down the stairs, and he arrived into a huge, round room with doors everywhere. 99 doors. And then in the middle, there was a round table that seemed familiar to him. And the door opened, and there came out of the door the most exquisite women from the Arabian Nights. She looked at him, she says, "So you're here. I've been waiting for you. You are my lover. You are my hero. And you will come with me and spend the night." And at this very moment, another door opened. And another woman, exquisite, beautiful like an Arabian night queen, And then another door, another, 99 doors, 99 women, all towards him. You are my prince, you're my lover. You would spend one night with me, one after the other. And there was no fight, there was just smile and perfume and flowers and love. And he went into a room, into a bed, into a night, and another room, and another woman, another bed, another night, 99 times. And after 99 times, he was like in the air. It was like all his fantasy were fulfilled when suddenly all the women came to his feet, kneeling, crying. You know, we have to go now. We are all from another world. We have to go home for 3 days and 3 nights. We have to leave you alone in that castle, but we will come back. You can do whatever you want. You have not seen much here, but we have to go. Please wait for us. Wait for us. 3 days and 3 nights. It's not very long. You just have to stay here. Look at everything. Everything you can look, except that door. Don't open it. And they disappear. Rings a bell, no? This time I'm not going to open the door. I'm going to wait for these women to come back. He's waiting. There's food, he eats, he drinks, but you know how mind is working. All the scenario that he's now inventing in his head. These poor women, perhaps they are under a spell. Perhaps my role is to free them. But what's the link between the women and my uncle and all this one-eyed man? There is a link, but what is it? Perhaps they didn't dare to protect these women. Perhaps, and suddenly he felt he was going to be a hero. He was going to, yes, of course, behind this door there's a monster. And he's going to kill the monster and free this woman. Yes, that's what he was going to do. He opens the door and he starts to run into a dark corridor. He runs. He runs. It's dark. It's long. He runs. And suddenly he arrives into a round room, completely dark. And in the middle, there is a black horse, beautiful black horse. He jumps onto the horse, and the horse starts to run. I looked and the horse ran and ran and ran. Along the long black corridor, he ran, he too arrived on a veranda. And there, the horse opened 2 huge wings that came out of his body, and the black horse starts to fly in the sky for a day, for a night, for another day, for another night. For 3 days, 3 nights, the horse flew in the air. Hi, Shana. And then the horse arrives into another veranda. The boy looks around him. Ali understands. This place is familiar. The town is familiar. This veranda is familiar. And the horse, he pushes Ali on the floor, and with his right wing into the eye, the right eye, and disappeared. Ali looks at the horse and understands. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's my big, deep fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's my big, deep home. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I listen to my uncle? And now the ladies, they are all out there, 99 of them, waiting for the next stupid man who's going to not listen to them. Oh. And now there is 2 versions at the end. Or he dies of pessimism, or he says, well, at least I had a beautiful moment with them, and now I can enjoy being an owner of a house like this. And it's better to have one eye than none. And that's the end of that version. Now, all of you, you shut your ears, and I'm going to tell for the man, the two women, the other version. It goes like this. It's much more modern. It's contemporary time. So he's like this, and he says, oh, I'm not going to open that door. Oh, no, I can see my uncle has been struggling with this, and no, okay, I will not open the door. So he goes out. It's a beautiful day. And there is a cafe that he likes very much, so he sits at the cafe, Turkish cafe, and there's a chair there. There's a woman that passed by, and she looks really lost in the town. She's a foreigner. And he says, can I help you? Please have a cup of coffee with me. And the woman, she says, yes. So she sits, and they have a little Turkish coffee together. And you know how the thing goes. They start to discuss a little bit. And she's really nice. And, he's like, no, he's not like this because he has not opened the door. Just checking, okay? Right. Okay, so he's like this. And, and they fall in love. He has a house. He invites her to live here. She accepts. And they have 3 boys. And the third boy is very often mostly curious and intelligent and fast and quick. And one day, the third boy says to his father, Daddy, what is the door behind the carpet? I let you imagine the rest. Okay, so now you have been included in a certain way, the kind of participation to storytelling, which is fundamental in that art. But what about another challenge I propose to you? I've been very attracted by a legend that you have here, which is beautiful. The Algarve almond tree with a princess from the north that marries a Moor. You know that story. Everybody, obviously, in Portugal knows that legend. I think it's beautiful, the idea of the almond tree that makes snow, that this poor woman from the north is desperate and cheers her up because she sees white like snow. And I was wondering, where is she coming from, that woman? Gilda is her name, or so called in your legend. So I went into my memory looking at Nordic stories, and I find something. And I would like to introduce that story to you, and we'll see if the story is valuable. Perhaps it will continue to be told by you, by some other storytellers. And this is how you create stories. One day someone starts. He tries something, and if it works, then it becomes a tale. Once upon a time, in the north of Norway, there was a king called Olaf. Norway was extremely divided. Every fjord had a king, and they were all fighting. But they were all together on each fjord, respecting one another, fighting sometimes, peace some other time, but there was no unity, no language, no in families, no unity. And Olaf, he had this daughter, Gilda, only one daughter. But he had a problem. Olaf had a thief. Every winter, during the night, long nights, someone was getting into his farm, stealing gold, carpets, beautiful objects, and no way to grab him. And King Olaf was really annoyed. So one day he gathered all his men and he said, that night we're going to get my thief. And they got him. And it was a troll. It's not the image we have of trolls, these huge characters with big nose, sometimes completely stupid. No, it's not that. It's a giant, yes. But it's a giant of nature. He knows everything about nights, trees, silence. So he knew how to creep into the farm, steal because they love gold and everything that's shining, and disappeared. Never been caught, but this time he was there. All the men around him, they put chain on his feet, chain on his arm. They put him at the door of the farm and they said, in 3 days, 3 nights, I'll chop his head off. That's my decision, King Olaf. Everybody came to look at the troll, and you know in Norway, catch a troll is quite an event. Generally, humans are really afraid of them. So when they saw that troll, they started to throw him all the garbage they could find, and stones and bad words, and on him. But Gilda, she did not like that. She had a feeling of justice, and she said to her father, this is not fair. 18 men to grab a troll, chain on the door, and all the village, all the people who come and throw to him their hatred. It's not fair. You're not going to chop his head. He's have justice. How the father says, my daughter, you understand nothing about life. You're a woman. This man has to be punished, and I'll chop his head off. Okay. Then Gilda that very night went to the troll. She spoke with him. She heard his story. And when she heard him speak, she felt something good. She freed him from the chains, and he disappeared into the mountains. The next morning, when the King Olaf understood that his own daughter had freed the troll, he went into a rage. He caught her, and he said to her, well, you, my only daughter, you who were supposed to become queen after my death, well, there, you like trolls? Go and join them. I send you out of my farm, and you'll get nothing from me. And off Gilda went. And Gilda, for days and nights and years, lived with the trolls. And the trolls, they are the incarnation of nature, stone, trees, sky, light. They know a lot of secrets, nature secrets. And the troll told Gilda all these secrets. And she became fast, cunning, intelligent, quick, strong, like a troll woman. And then one day the king died. And they called for her, saying, he's dead, you have to be the queen. So she said, all right then, I'll be the queen, but trolls, you'll be with me. And the troll said, no, we will not be with you, but we'll ask you something. You are the queen now, and you have a task. You have to unite all these kingdoms, all these little kings, all these male, arrogant, who want to be king. And you have to unite all this. You have to make Norway as a one land. And as long as you will not be able to do it, you will let your hair and your nails grow without cleaning them. She said yes. And that's what she did. Gilda started to have hair that grows, nails, feet and hands that grew too. And she started her strategy. She gathered a few men and women, strong and faithful. She chose the best little drakkar, the boat that you could imagine. And at night, she would go on the sea, and she would attack farms. She would put on fire. She would submit the little kings, one after the other. No king could resist to Gilda's little army. And little by little, well, one king after another, she submitted the whole Norway. And when the whole Norway had said yes to her, all the fjords, all the kings, all the male said yes to Gilda. You should have seen her with her dirty hair like forest, with her nails, feet and hands. She was, in a way, beautiful and awful in the same time. But when she was the queen of the whole of Norway, she said, now my task is over. So she gathered all the kings around her. They cut her hair, cut her nails, dressed her, cleaned her, and she was a beautiful queen. She was the first queen of Norway. And when she saw her whole land united, she said, now it's time for more adventure. And off she went with her boat, with dry fish, dry meat, and she left, and you know where she landed? With the dry fish, the cod, in Portugal. And there, why not imagine that she met this Moor? She fell in love with him. They had a great time. They were living in Algarve, and then she got nostalgic, and he had this amazing idea of having flowering almonds white everywhere. And she was possessed by this white, and she was so happy. Then she said to him, let's go back home. And home they went, and that's another story for another year. Thank you. So, in this type of shared journey through stories, I was east, now I went north. Now, let's go under the baobab tree in Africa. In French, people say l'arbre à palabre, the tree of stories. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. Nous parlons sans bouche, nous chantons sans voix. Cœur fermé, farouche, qui donc l'ouvrira? The wind was blowing in the baobab tree, and the leaves were singing that song. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. Nous parlons sans bouche, we speak without mouth. Nous chantons sans voix, we sing without voice. Cœur fermé, farouche, heart closed, scared. Qui donc l'ouvrira? Who will open it? That day, under the shade of the baobab, there was the hare. And you know the hare, he's a bit cunning, he likes to make jokes, and he's there, and it's fresh. And he's fine under the shade of the baobab tree, and he hears the wind and the leaves. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. So he starts to sing with the leaves. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. Oh, baobab! Whoa! When the wind is there, you have such a beautiful song. I heard you have also a beautiful fruit. The baobab heard and dropped the fruit. And the fruit of the baobab, when you open it, it's a little bit like chewing gum. So the hare took the chewing gum into his mouth, and he was happy. And the wind continued to blow into the leaves. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. Oh, baobab, your leaves sing as well. Your fruit is delicious. Baobab, what about your heart? The baobab was so surprised. My heart? Well, look at it. And the baobab trembled and opened. He opened, the tree opened, and showed to the hare what was inside. And the wind in the leaves were singing. FIFA, FIFA, FIFA. Oh, baobab, your leaves sings well. Your fruit is delicious, and your heart is beautiful. Gold, sandals, boo-boo. Oh, I've never seen so much treasures. Yes, says the baobab. Well then, take something. No, I don't dare. It's too beautiful. It's yours, it's your heart. Yes, I know, said the baobab, but you can take something. Oh, no, I don't dare. Please, take something, says the baobab. Or if you don't want it for you, take something for someone you love. Yes, says the hare. Now I think this is my wife's birthday. I think she would be really happy with this pair of earrings. And he takes the pair of earrings. Thank you, baobab. And the baobab closes his heart, his tree. And the hare, he's so happy. He runs home. He gives the earrings to his wife. And the wife, she has never seen something like this. She takes the earrings, put them on her ears, and she feels so beautiful. She does not want to keep this just for herself. So she goes out and she shows herself to all the men and women of the village. And everybody admires her. She's shiningly beautiful. The present, the baobab, suits her so well. Amongst all the people in the village, there is the jackal. And the jackal, he looks at the earring of the hair. And he looks at his woman. And the woman looks at her husband. And she says, I want the same. But I want them bigger. And I want the sandals, gold sandals that goes with it. Do it, otherwise I divorce. And you know, jackals, they don't joke. If she says that to him, he knows what it means. She will seriously divorce. And in the jackal society, it's not a good thing. So he goes to the hare. Oh, hello, my friend. How are you? Beautiful earrings to your wife for the present for her birthday. But tell me, you little hare, where did you get them? Oh, that hare. No secret. I went to the baobab. I listened to his songs of his leaves. I tasted his fruit. It was beautiful. And then he opened his heart, and it was full of gold and treasures and sandals and boo-boo. And yeah, it was beautiful. He's so great. He's so nice. Oh, yes, he's very nice, said the jackal. Thank you very much. And the jackal goes home. He takes a bag on his back and he runs. And he runs as the jackal runs. And he runs and he goes to the baobab and he lays under the shade and he listens. Oh, beautiful song. Hey, what about the fruit? The fruit comes down. Nice song, nice fruit. And what about the heart? Come on, what about the heart? The baobab is a bit surprised, but nevertheless, he opens his heart, his tree, and the jackal, when he sees the treasure, he takes his bag, he rushes into the tree and he says, I'm going to take everything, not only for my wife, but for all my family, for myself. I'm going to be the rich jackal in the world, and I'll come back with another bag because there's too much for this bag, and I'll come with my brother, with my sisters, with my son, and we'll empty that tree and we'll take everything. There will be nothing left of that heart. And when the baobab heard that, he closed his heart. One says that since then, jackals are looking for their food in death. One says also that there was a time where the baobab tree was opening his heart to the one who was asking. One says also, the heart of mankind is like the heart of the baobab. It used to open itself. So tell me, which jackal has tried to eat it? FIFA, FIFA, nous parlons sans bouche, nous chantons sans voix. Cœur fermé farouche, qui donc l'ouvrira? I think traveling is part of the life of a storyteller, not only because you travel to go and tell stories in your country or abroad or whatever, but also because sometimes when you want to understand a culture, you need to be there. You need to feel the earth, the people, smell. And I was with friends, storytellers, and we were wondering what did happen when all the stories and the people from France moved to the north of Canada in Quebec. And then they were chased by the English and went into the bayou of Louisiana, in that place where they speak a kind of Creole French called the Cajuns. I don't know if you know them, if you heard them speak, if you know the music of the Cajun, of the crocodiles and the bayou. But we were fascinated by that, and we were wondering how the tales had transformed themselves through Quebec and then the Cajun. So we went on a trip. And when we arrived in Louisiana, it was Lafayette, the town, we had sent a proposition of a story swap evening. So we would tell stories in French, and they would tell us stories in Creole, Cajun language. So there was, invitation was sent everywhere into Lafayette, and we arrived. Lafayette, it was a one-way street like this, long, like in a cowboy film, with only wood houses on the side, and there was the saloon on the left and the theater on the right. And the theater was an Olympia theater. And when we arrived, it was written with gloomy lights and names. Tonight, story swap with the best storytellers from France, Abby Patrix, Pepito Matteo, Muriel Bloch, and Chant. For those who don't know Paris, Olympia is the place where you perform when you're a star. So we thought, hey, America, come on, friends, we made it, we're storytellers, and we have cha-cha-cha, Olympia, we are the star. So we went into the theater, the three of us, confident, pushed the door, entered, yes, empty. All the seats broken. The stage, well, there was a poor stage with a kind of, no, not something like this. It was an awful tree. And there was an awful kind of fake door with a broken armchair. And we said, is that the theater? There was no light functioning, no sound system, nothing. And so we went up the stairs. We took a few broken chairs. We sat into a circle, and we waited for the audience for the story swap. And the audience never came. Why? Because on the other side of the street, there was the saloon. What do you do in a saloon? You drink and you talk. They were just wondering if they should elect Mr. Bush at the time. They were really discussing a lot and drinking a lot. Perhaps too much, because at the end, they elected him. But they never went to the Olympia Theater. So we were there waiting, and the organizer, they were saying, wait, they will come. They never came, but the door opened, and there, he entered. He was dressed in a dark brown cloth, made of leather, with a huge hat. He entered, went up the stairs, looked at us and said, I'm Grey Hawk, native Indian storyteller. If you tell me stories in French, I will tell you a story from the time of my grandparents, because my grandparents, they spoke French. But you, French people, you have sold us to the English for a dime. And now, one nation, one language. We all had to learn English, and I forgot the French, but I remember the story. If you want, I'll tell it to you on the condition that when you go back to France, you will tell the story in French to the French audience in memory of my grandparents. Do you accept? Do you accept? Yes. Oh, of course, we said yes. So he entered, he sat down, and there, with this way of being, proud, and himself, he told us that story. And that story, I'm going to tell you now, he told it to us in his language of Cajun, English, French, and it's the only version I have ever found of that story for you tonight. humma, hey, humma, hey. Humma, humma, hey, 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 oh. Hum, humma, hey, hey, ah. Humma, hey, humma, hum, humma, humma, hey. Humma, humma, hey, hey, humma, hey, ah. Hum, hey, humma, hey, hey. Humma, humma, hey, hey. I'm Greyhawk, native Indian storyteller from the Huma community. And this is my story. Humma, 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 hey, hey. Humma, humma, hey. Humma, hey. Humma, hey. Once upon a time there was a man. And that man, he was a hunter. But he was always complaining to his village, to his friends, to his people. Creation is rotten. Man is bad. The world is bad, I hate the world. The world is bad, I hate the world. Every morning he woke up, he went hunting, and he was mourning all the time, complaining about the world. The world is bad, I hate the world. The world is bad, I hate the world. Hunting is tiring. Bayou is wet. The moon is cold. The sun is hot. There are too many crocodiles in the bayou. Birds are singing. Grass is sticking to my feet. I hate the world. The world is bad. I hate the world. You know, someone who sings like this all the time, little by little, you get afraid that it's going to propagate between the other people. So the chief of the village, he said to himself, that's enough. It's enough complaining. I don't want everybody to complain like you. So you go out of the village. There's a little hut out there. You live by yourself and you complain by yourself in the little hut. Okay? You go. So he went. He went in the little hut and all by himself, every day, I hate the world. Hunting is tiring. And he was hunting with his bow and arrow, complaining all the time, coming back to his house. I hate world. We could hear him from the distance. We could hear that he was permanently complaining. So one day, a woman in the village said to the others, this is not good. We still hear him. I think we have to do something. And also, it's a man. We don't have that many men in our community. It's not good to lose one. There's only one problem. His heart is completely closed. I could try to do something. And off she went. She went to the hut with the hunter. And you must say that the next morning, when he came out of the hut, for a little while, there was nearly a smile on his face. And then, I hate the world is bad, I hate the world, the hunting is tiring, man is a failure, woman is too woman. Well, he was happy about that. He kept on complaining and complaining. So the woman, she says, well, I'm not strong enough. I have to do something. And she gave birth to a boy. Wow. When the father felt the boy, his boy, this time, for a while there was a smile on his head. Oh, a boy. He took the boy in his arms, and the boy started to cry. Oh, hate the world is bad, hunting is tiring, man, a failure, woman is too woman, and children are noisy. I hate the world is bad. And then she gave birth to a girl. He had a girl, and the same thing happened. He was all the time complaining, so the poor woman, then she kneeled on the floor. She looked at the sky, and she said, Creator, if you exist, do something for this man, because I cannot do more. The man, he was hunting. Oh, and he was complaining all the time. I hate the world. The man is a failure. Women are too women. Children are noisy. Hunting is tiring. The moon is too cold. The sun is too warm. The grass sticks to my shoes. The bayou is too wet. And suddenly, a voice that came from far in from the sky and hit the man. And the voice said, "Hey man, what is your problem?" The man, he looked at the sky and he said, "Wow, so now I can say what I feel. The creation is rotten. The world is bad. Your creation is a failure. Man is a failure. Women are too women. The children are noisy. The moon is too cold. The sun is too warm." And the Creator said, "All right, I think I understood your complaints. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take away everything you dislike." "All right? All right," said the man. And it started straight away. He walked and the grass disappeared. He walked and the bayou was dry. He walked and the singing of the birds disappeared. The moon, the sun, behind clouds, the wind pushed the cloud, disappeared. And then in the void, the trees, the village, his hut, his wife and children, everything disappeared, and even the earth under his feet. And suddenly, he was alone in the void. There was nothing left apart from him. Everything was gone. You know, in the beginning, he was like so happy. Hey, I'm finally alone. The world has disappeared. All these things that I hate are not there anymore. The sun, the moon, the clouds, the sky, the earth, the bayou, the crocodiles, the birds, the village, my wife, the children, everything disappeared. Great. And he started to breathe. And he started to be happy. He was finally alone. And as you remember in the beginning of that evening, time passes slowly. And little by little, the man started to think that that was a bit long. Nothing happens. Creator, in your story now, nothing happens. I'll stay like this forever. 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 Yes, forever. Okay, Creator, it's fine. I think it's long enough. Yep, it's okay. Creator, it's enough. No, okay, I understood now. I cannot stay like this, alive, and yet with nothing around me for the rest of eternity, you know. Something has to happen. But nothing happened. And suddenly, he thought, but I'm not going to stay like this. Alive, but like dead. No desire, no dreams, no appetite, no company, nothing to speak about. Am I going to stay like this forever? And then fright came into his heart. And if I was going to stay like this forever, and suddenly he felt miserable. He said, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to stay here forever. Creator, please, don't leave me alone. Creator, please. But a little voice came from the inside of himself. A little voice who said, I'm sorry, but I can never do what I have made disappeared. Only you can do it. You have to name what you want, and perhaps it will reappear. And the man, he closed his eyes, he thought deeply, and he started to name things. Uma hey, uma hey, uma hey, uma hey, uma hey. To be a man, name. Yes, to be a man, name. Hey, to be a man, name. Yes, I name the world. I name the earth, I name the sky, I name the sun, I name the moon, and they reappeared. I name the grass that sticks to my shoes, I name the singing of the birds, I name the water in the bayou, I name the crocodiles, and they all reappeared. I name my village, I name my people. I name my hut. I name my wife. I name my children. I name. And they reappeared. And he started to run. He ran. He came into his hut. They were asleep. He woke his wife. He woke his children. He took them in his arms. He opened the door of his hut. He looked at the world. And he told his wife and his children everything that had happened to him. And he said, now, with me, every morning, we will name the world so that it never disappears again. To be a man named up. And this is why us, Huma Indian, we name the world, for that never disappears again. And this is why we, storytellers, we tell stories so that they never disappears again. Hey. That's good.